Hey, I'm up here at Southside Harley Davidson in beautiful Indianapolis. I am here, I've got the privilege to be able to test ride this new, completely redesigned Fatboy. And most of you guys know the Fatboy was always one of my favorite Harleys, so I'm looking forward to this one. Well, you definitely know it's a Fatboy just by looking at it. They definitely redesigned this whole front end. It's completely different. Kind of cool. Almost a little futuristic. That's a big rear end. I like big, no, that's a nice big rear end on that thing. This is kind of cool. Kind of cool. A 114 motor, I mean, my gosh. I don't see any reason why they won't let me take this one out on the road. Still kind of sits like a Fatboy. I like it. Let's take it for a spin. All right. Totally keyless motorcycle. Where's the key fob? I don't have it on me. How's it going to keep going?
Zip tied right here.
Oh, okay. I didn't see it over there.
Yeah, so we'll
okay.
I think it'll be fine right there.
Okay. It's like I have no fob on me. I'm Fabio. All right. Actually sounds pretty good, even with stock pipes on it. I know I say it all the time, going from an older bike like I ride, about the throttle response. I got to tell you what, the throttle response on this, I mean, it's sensitive. You barely turn it and you're going. Now I will say the new design, I feel like almost the front end feels almost a little heavier than the old Fatboys. But overall, the bike itself feels much lighter. Well, it's got a pretty smooth ride, comfortable seat and handlebars. Like I said, the front end almost feels a little heavier. It's almost like I can lean harder into the curve, if that makes sense. I can throw my weight into it a little bit more. I don't feel like it's going to tip over right away if I start leaning in. Ship right here. My gosh, this thing likes to go. I tell you, for a bike that has such throttle response, you can tell it wants to go. You can still run, you know, like right here where I'm running through town, I can still run 30 miles an hour. It rides nice and smooth. It's not lurching on you. It's not like trying to jump out from under you. It's running nice and smooth. This whole new frame design and everything they came out with, man, I'm liking it so far. Well, hey, Eric Anderson, Southside Harley Davidson. You guys invited us up here to be able to test ride this brand new design Fatboy. I got to tell you, I mean, there's parts of it, obviously it's still a Fatboy. Mm-hmm. There are other aspects of it, and I noticed when I was riding it, that is definitely different. I mean, obviously you look at the front end, it's different. You look at the rear end, it's different. But, you know, even handling, it was almost a strange sensation because it was like the bike feels lighter, but yet when I'm going into the curves, I found myself being able to throw my weight into it even more than before. It was almost like wow, I actually almost got to nudge this thing into the curve, even though it felt like it was a lighter motorcycle. It was almost it was different than what I was expecting, because I was expecting, man, I better be careful because this thing's going to just flop right over on me.
Right.
And it didn't do that. And all I can say is throttle response. My God, throttle response. This is a rocket ship for sure. I mean, I know, and it's got a big old 114 motor on this thing, and I'm assuming this is the new motor that they came out with last year with the touring bikes. They are now on the Softails.
Yep, it's the new Milwaukee 8 and the 114 cubic inch version. Remember, Harley came out with these in the 107 version in their touring bikes, put the 114 on the CVOs in 2017. Now there's a big change up in the Harley Davidson line of motorcycles that you have to come experience.
It's, I mean, again, totally different. Now, I will say the one thing I did notice also sitting on it, it almost felt like I was sitting more on it than in it. I didn't feel like, even though the like my feet on the ground, I mean, I was still sitting low, but yet it didn't feel quite like I was sitting all the way inside the motor or inside the bike.
Yeah, so what Harley did is they redesigned the seat on it for a more ergonomical riding position that's going to allow you to ride tank to tank with more comfort in the seat. I mean, that's just one of the many, many changes that they made to this motorcycle. If you didn't hear, Harley does no longer make the Dyna motorcycle. So Dyna riders, hey, have faith out there. This new Softail is going to bring it to you. You got to come take one for a ride. So Harley merged that whole cruiser line of motorcycles, Dynas and Softails together, and came out with everything in a new Softail design. Brand new frame, single monoshock, with adjustability in it, preload adjustment, so you can set it for the amount of weight on the motorcycle to get that optimum ride. But think about the Fatboy. Do you remember what first movie the Fatboy was shown in?
No.
Terminator 2.
Right?
Arnold was on a Fatboy in the movie. Absolutely, that was the first movie that the Fatboy, just as it came out, was debuted in. So think about that bike and think what this Fatboy looks at today.
Right.
I mean, let me just kind of touch on the big features here for you. You got the big powerhouse Milwaukee 8, 114 cubic inches. Also comes in a 107 cubic inch version. Big 240 meaty tire on the back. A 160 millimeter tire on the front. Man, this thing looks like a steamroller coming down the road at you. The new Lakester wheels. And if you think about that, think about the salt flats and the wheels that are on those motorcycles. That's where they got the name of Lakester wheels for this. But it's a redesigning the wheel. You can see the little ribs in it.
Right.
You've got the 6-speed cruise drive transmission in it. Hey, these things are keyless now. No more key to turn the motorcycle on and off or lock it.
I was looking.
Yeah, the only thing you got, the only thing you have is the key that's going to lock the fork, and it's now a redesign, almost looks like a car key, but it's a keyless ignition. So all you do with the key fob present is go up and turn the ignition switch on, and you've got it. A new LED design in the headlight. What Harley Davidson, they're really trying to attract those 18 to 35-year-old riders to come get on the Harley Davidson motorcycle. And you know the old cliche about a Harley's too expensive, I'm never able to afford one. But man, these are affordable as ever. But the redesign of this to attract the younger rider to want to take this bike out, this is pretty awesome. So what we'll do is we'll show you a little bit of all the redesign of this motorcycle. But you're absolutely correct. This thing's a powerhouse. You twist the grip and man, you're gone. So if you think of it in this context, take this motorcycle against the 103 twin cam version of last year. This bike has 10% more power to it than the 103 twin cam, which means that it's going to be 1 to 2 to 3 bike lengths faster in that 0 to 60 over the twin cam 88.
That.
Yeah,
I believe that.
Yeah, and so the twin cam, you know, it was a counterbalanced engine in the Softails, but now this one, the Milwaukee 8, twin counterbalancer, so literally no vibration in the motorcycle. The new frame, more rigid, about 30 to 35% more rigid than the Softails of the past. You've got the preload adjustment, as we talked about earlier, to set that load to get the great ride on it for you. But the great thing is that this bike is 34 pounds lighter than the Fatboy in the one in 2017. 30 pounds.
Yeah.
You said it was light.
It felt lighter to me. It felt much lighter.
And when you went around the curves, did you notice that there was a little more lean angle?
I noticed I could definitely throw it down a little bit more and everything else.
Yeah, so a lot of Softail riders experience dragging of the footboards when they go around the corners or when they make a turn in a parking lot. 5 degrees more lean angle on both sides of the motorcycle. What's that mean to you? It means you can lean deeper into the corners before you're dragging floorboards. Yeah, absolutely.
No, I liked it. And you know, I think the thing I was really impressed with was the fact that as much as this thing wants to go, because you barely touch the throttle, it wants to go. And when I get caught in some traffic down here, and I'm going traffic light to traffic light, and I'm running 20, 30, you know, 35 miles an hour, it's still smooth as silk. It doesn't have that. A lot of them, back in the day, when you were running slow like that, you just kind of felt that lurch.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel that at all. It was just smooth as silk, even at the lower speeds.
Right. Scott, we got the seat off of the Fatboy. This is the new monoshock design. So it's really a single shock that is going to soften that movement of the swing arm in the back. So Harley wanted to create more of a rigid looking frame, but yet wanted to have some adjustability in it so that it wasn't a rigid frame. You've ridden a rigid frame motorcycle before? Yeah. So with this, there's actually an external preload adjustment on that, and that's this knob right here. So all you have to do is you look in the owner's manual, you find the model motorcycle you're riding, you look at the chart, see how much weight's on it, and it's just a quick turn of the knob to adjust your preload on the spring.
Wow.
So now the preload's adjusted, and now you can get that ride that you're looking for on this soft tail.
That's pretty cool.
And the way the swing arm works, it's mounted on the bottom instead of before. The swing arm was mounted so that the lower shocks were able to soften the movement of the swing arm moving up and down. So brand new frame, 30% more rigid, new adjustability preload wise, going to give you optimum performance in handling. And not only did they do this, but they used the same technology in the front forks that they use on their touring model motorcycles. So it's the Showa dual valve bending technology. What's that mean to you as a rider? It means that you're going to keep the front end on the ground for premium performance and braking, and it's 2 springs and valves working against each other that is really going to dampen the ride for you and give you a more sustainable ride.
This is a nice bike. It's a very nice bike, and I do think the younger people will like the front end, the look of the front end. You know, with the new headlight, the whole new design up there. I like the bigger tires. Definitely like the performance.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree, and I think everybody needs to come in and take one for a ride, don't you?
Yes,
Absolutely.